What's up everybody, back with another video today, and we have a very exciting product here. It's a smart bird bath. Now, we've reviewed a whole bunch of smart bird products, but every single one of them up to this point has been feeders. So I'm very excited to see how a smart bird bath functions. So without further ado, let's get this thing opened and get it set up outside and see how it goes. Of course, bath comes with a nice user manual. Those are always good, obviously. You have a few templates for hanging it onto trees or a post outside if you have one. And then there's a whole bunch of little boxes, which I'm assuming are just, the various different pieces. We'll go through these each in a minute. Very, very heavy, sturdy hanging bracket here for the feeder, or for the bird bath, I should say. And wow, this is a lot bigger than I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be quite small. It looks like you have your pump filter right here. Yep, it says submersible pump, so that's good. Here's the cover that goes over the pump and everything. But yeah, just the sheer size of this is pretty big, at least a foot across in both directions. Cute little steps for the birds right here. They have little footprint patterns like they're stepping down into a pool. And the material is plastic. All right, that looks like that's what's in the box. But let's go ahead and open up these smaller boxes. All right, here is your smart camera for the feeder. It's honestly, it looks very similar to just your standard smart bird feeder camera. These cameras work pretty dang good. You get a pretty good image off of them, so I don't have any gripes about this camera being kind of recycled across the different smart feeder products. This smart bird bath is by Harymor, I believe, or Harymor is the brand name. You can see it right there. But yeah, let's see. There's like a little back panel here. That back panel removes the camera, which is nice. Again, this is all plastic for the most part. The nice thing about this feeder is that it does come with a solar panel. This is obviously something that I was worried about when they reached out to me, is how is this thing gonna be powered? Does it have to be plugged in at all times? And no, it comes with a solar panel. It should be solar powered, which is amazing, incredible. I love that about these smart products. And it looks like it just integrates right into the feeder setup. So we're gonna continue taking out some of these other pieces. I think the rest of what's in this box is just the remaining screws and dials and stuff. Let's see. Oh, this is nice. They include cleaning brushes. Not all, smart products or companies are going to include cleaning brushes for you, so you usually have to go out and buy those. This is just a nice thought for them to include these in here to make sure that you keep your bird bath nice and clean. And then, as I mentioned, here's all of the smaller pieces. They even include a little screwdriver for you to be able to put the feeder together. So we're gonna get this put together, and then I'll see you outside to get it hung up and start testing it. All right, so I just got it set up. Here is what it looks like. I love that the solar panel is sitting on top. That's a nice feature. A lot of the smart bird feeders, they're gonna have the solar panels separate, so you have to find a separate place to mount it. This one just sits right on top. Maybe provides a little bit of shade for the camera setup itself, or catches some of the debris that would fall on the camera and make it kind of foggy. But yeah, very excited to test this thing out. So let's take out the smart bird bath outside. I love also these fruit hooks right here. You can put fruit here to attract maybe some of those fruit eating birds like grosbeaks or orioles. That would be awesome to get in the yard. I don't think we've ever gotten those in the yard before. So let's get this thing set up outside and see how it goes. So we just set up the Harymor Smart Bird Bath, and it's actually really, really cool. Sorry, Kiba the dog over here is making a lot of racket, but it's way bigger than I thought. It actually holds quite a bit of water. Let me just pull you down here a little bit. And it has a little sprinkler on it. So the trickling water sound is actually what typically brings birds into water sources. Just that little tiny trickling water is enough to bring in species. If you just have dishes of water on the ground, birds will also visit those as well. But that trickling sound is what brings in a lot of cool species. So it absolutely looks incredible And I'm gonna put a sliced orange, a cut in half orange on both of these orange hooks right here to try to attract in some birds. And then we'll just see what birds are around. But yeah, this looks awesome. I love the solar panel on top. I was actually able to use, let me flip you around. I was actually able to use this tree strap. Now it doesn't come with a tree strap, so if you want to utilize a tree strap, you're gonna have to get yourself one of those. But it is strong enough to hold up this bird bath. This is not going anywhere. It's super sturdy. I believe there's also light that comes out of this and emits at night, which is kind of cool. So if you have like a little vibey garden or whatever, then this is a good addition for your garden. And then here's the little camera. You can adjust the angle that it sits at. I think I have it relatively perfect. I'll adjust it in a minute, but yeah, it looks absolutely incredible. The Wi-Fi signal is strong. It has that antenna on the top. The solar panel sits right here that charges it. And when it gets to a low enough battery, it'll actually shut off for you and then completely recharge. And that's one thing that most smart bird feeders don't do. Most smart bird feeders don't sense when they're low on battery. You have to sometimes, even if they're solar paneled, they'll eventually just run out of battery and then try to peter back to life every once in a while. So you'll have to take the camera out and charge it inside. I don't know if how good that feature is, so I'll let you guys know on the recap at the end of this, but let's let this sit out here for a while, see what birds want to come visit the feeder, if any. Sometimes these things take a couple weeks to attract birds because the birds want to make sure that it's a safe place to settle down in. We'll let it do its thing. I'm gonna fill up the bird feeder that's right behind it with some seed, see if we can attract some more birds that way, and I'll keep you updated. So what are my thoughts on the Harymor Smart Bird Bath? Overall, I've been very, very impressed with it. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's a really solid smart bird product. And I've seen plenty of smart bird products. All of them have been feeders, but the concept is very much the same. You have a camera that captures motion. When the motion hits the bird bath, the camera turns on, captures the media. So first I'm gonna go over some things that I thought were cons, and then we'll go over some things that I really, really liked about it. A con of the bird bath is there seems to be a little bit of a delay in the audio. You can hear it in some of the clips. In fact, I'll show you. It seems like there's no audio. And then there's kind of like a burst, and then you can start hearing what's going on. That's a little bit annoying. I don't know if there's something I'm doing wrong on my end, but it's also not really a deal breaker because most of the time I'm not trying to listen to the audio of the birds anyways. And honestly, that's really the only real con that I could think of this feeder. Now, some of you might be wondering, how's the battery life? Well, it's been running for at least 3 days now, and the battery's still at near 50%, which is really good considering that there is that sprinkler that comes on and is pumping out water. Now, the one thing about the sprinkler though is when that's a separate battery from the battery of the camera. So the camera's at 50%. I can't actually see what the battery of the pump is at, but when that battery gets low, it actually shuts off the pump automatically. And then once it charges up again, which is typically during the morning time, then the pump comes on and then kind of repeats that cycle over and over again. Now, I think that the camera goes through that same cycle. When the camera runs out of battery, it will recharge using solar and then come back. It's always charging, but if it ever hits zero, but I haven't gotten to the point to actually test that out. So either way, if it does end up running out of battery, then you have a standard smart feeder product where you have to take the camera and charge it just using a cable, and then it'll last quite a while on the solar. Or it might be even better, and it might just have that pre-programmed setting in there where it's gonna let you charge it all the way up. Now, the app is pretty intuitive. It's pretty standard as well. It's actually like a home security app, but they do have like the bird AI recognition available, and it's integrated into the system. I typically stay away from the bird AI recognition systems just because they're still not that accurate. And most of the time, you know what birds are in your yard. But if you have the extra money, you can always experiment with it and see if you like it. Another feature I really like of the bird bath is the fruit hooks. These are really, really nice to have because a lot of birds out there, a lot of backyard birds eat fruit specifically and not necessarily seeds. And so if you have fruit hooks, that's just another incentive for an oriole or a grosbeak or something like that to come along and use your bird bath. Now, obviously, I only had 3 birds visit in the last 3 days, but like I mentioned, sometimes it takes 7 to 21 days for birds to discover a new thing and actually feel comfortable using it. So the fact that on day 1, magpies were already drinking out of it and an American robin also drank out of it is a really, really good sign. And eventually smaller birds are probably going to start bathing out of it. You might be concerned about cleanliness. Because the entire thing is made of plastic, it's really easy to spray down and scrub down when you end up having to do so. So I don't anticipate that cleaning it is going to be a big issue. It's going to be much easier than cleaning just your standard birdseed feeders. And yeah, it does have some nice customizability in the app where you can set the cool down time. If you don't want to be notified every 5 seconds a bird visits your bird bath, you can set like a 10-minute cool down. That'll also limit the amount of battery that it does use. And the solar seems to work really, really well. One thing I do want to mention, if you live in a cold environment, I would definitely not use this product when temperatures start to freeze or start to get close to freezing. I don't think the product would stand a freeze. I could be wrong, but it's the middle of summer right now, so I can't even test it. What I will say though, is it does withstand temperatures of like 105. We've gone through a major heat wave here in Utah, and the feeder and the bird bath was able to hold up in that hot temperature. So just be aware, probably don't use this product in freezing cold temperatures. So overall, I think it's an awesome smart bird product. I think it's cool that we've kind of moved from the bird feeders, which are always a standard, now to the hummingbird feeders after that, and now to bird baths, and these things are just getting a lot more fun to enjoy. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think of a smart bird bath experience? Links for the product will be in the description below. These are affiliate links. They help support the channel with no extra charge to you. As always, thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you all next time on Bright-Eyed Birding.